Hello, I'm Nori, Team Director and founder of the Minnesota Paranormal Study Group. What got me interested in the paranormal is a very personal and dear story to me. When I was a little kid, I had an uncle. He was this kind of person who would do anything for anybody at any time. He didn't have any kids. He wasn't married. But let me tell you, he sure did love kids. When I was little, my dad actually didn't spend a whole lot of time with us because he was always trying to make ends meet. He was just that type of guy. So I guess the male model in my early years was my uncle. As much as it sounds like he was a good person, he did have his faults, like everybody does. He was human. He did have quite a problem with drinking. But he was the type of guy to take his closest nephew, that would be me. He took me out on all life's little lessons. He showed me how to shop at the grocery store. He always somehow had money to buy me something special, whether it was a Happy Meal from McDonald's or he was buying me Crunch and Munch or taking me to Duluth for the day. The world was always ours when I was with him. He was the type of guy to you know, if his brothers needed help, he was there in a heartbeat. He was the type to do just about anything for anybody. When I was 10 years old, though, I remember being put in the car and going to my grandmother's, which was kind of unusual because it was a school day, and we usually went there on the weekends or during the summer because my dad worked in the same town. So we'd go spend the day with my grandma, keep her company, and spend some time with my uncle. Well, this day was a little bit unusual, and I remember my parents telling me that my uncle was very sick and we had to go see him. It was sudden. I mean, he didn't have any kind of ailments or anything like that. But what ended up happening was he was having complications from drinking. Cirrhosis had set in. I remember my uncle coming in to my grandmother's. It was a little after noon, I believe. So, you know, 12:30, 1 o'clock, he came in, and this is my uncle Marv. He actually came in and he said to my grandma, who was there with me. She was in the kitchen, so she was in another room. But as you walked into her apartment, you walked into the kitchen first, and he mentioned in a very monotone voice that Bobby had passed away. Now, as a kid, I was used to being alone. My parents didn't really have a lot of time for me because they were always busy doing something, so I was used to being alone. But taking the news of losing your best friend alone did quite a toll on me. When you have a bond with somebody that great, you're not able to say goodbye, and you kind of wish you did. You kind of hope that they really aren't out of your life forever. Anyways, a couple of years went by. And my parents, when they were around, were very open-minded people. My dad especially, he loved watching things on Bigfoot. He loved anything on Discovery Channel that would open up his mind. And one of our favorite programs was Sightings on Sci-Fi. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Sightings, one of the things about Sightings was that it was like a news broadcast, but from the paranormal aspect. You'd have things like ghosts, you'd have Bigfoot, UFOs, aliens, Roswell, that kind of stuff. It was always in news brief stuff. That was our favorite thing to watch together. The more and more I started watching it, the more and more I started hearing stories about people saying goodbye to loved ones coming back from the dead to deliver messages or to deliver comfort. And I started to wonder if some of those stories were true. So I decided to set out on my own and to find my own answers. In high school, I started researching as much as I could. You know, I kept thinking to myself, you know, and that maybe one day I will be able to finally say goodbye. One day I will get my comfort, and eventually I did. And that was my closure. However, along my journey of finding my own answers to say goodbye to my uncle, I started running into people with the same problems. I started running into families who are terrified because their kids are seeing stuff. Things are moving on their own, and We don't know why. It's not comfortable to live here anymore. So now my journey, my goal after finding my own answers is to help other people find their answers, and to give them comfort in their own lives. And I do this all for free. Those kind of stories that I can help in any way, shape, or form in my own experiences, in my own travels, are definitely worth it.